Board of County Commissioners is now in session. We'll begin with the prayer followed by the pledge. Commissioner Jones, you lead us in prayer, please.
Yes, sir. Let us pray. Father, we thank you today for being with us. We thank you for this day you've given unto us. The time that we spend together here this morning, we ask you, God, that you would grant unto us discretion and wisdom. God, to know, Lord, not just for today, but for every tomorrow that you shall give the residents and visitors of Franklin County. We thank you for this day. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on the agenda will be the approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Massey, second by Commissioner Lockley. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next will be payment of county bills.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Lockley, second by Commissioner Sanders. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda would be Mr. Howard Neighbor, Superintendent of Public Works.
Morning, Commissioners. How y'all doing?
Doing good.
Just got a couple items on Sunday. You know, we had a little bad weather Sunday morning, which we had a few trees across 98 west of Appalachia, and we had some east of Lanark, but all county roads and stuff was good, so. And then we started, as of yesterday, cutting grass throughout the county. So therefore, it'll be an everyday thing, probably up to probably December, so.
Good morning, Commissioners. Item number 2, is speaking of grass cutting. Included in your packet is my draft letter to the Florida Department of Transportation, amending our grass mowing schedules on Highway 98 and Highway 65. I'm asking FDOT to do 2 full right-of-way mows, one during the winter and another during late spring, early summer, and a 15-foot safety strip mows during the rest of the year, or as requested by this Board of County Commissioners. Board action to approve the schedule and authorize the chairman's signature on the letter.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Lockley, second by Commissioner Sanders. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Howard, on the tree cutting out to the west between the airport and Tilton Road, there's a few more trees that are right along the right of way that are completely rotten.
Okay,
That could
yeah.
potentially blow down. We need to get with Transfield or whoever the new contractor is and see if we can't get
Yeah,
those trees down.
we get a hold to them, and I got a call from Duke Energy that morning about 7, and I was gonna go out and shove them trees out of the road, but by the time I got there, Rod Spectrum had done got there, so they was getting the trees out of the road, so.
If you're, got timing right out there, you'll see the trees.
Okay.
There's some on the left. I mean, it's completely rotten, look like they're 40-foot high.
Yeah,
You get any kind of wind coming out
They gonna
out the
fall.
bay, they gonna fall on the highway.
safety issue, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So we need to look at that. Any other comments from the board from Mr. Howard this morning?
Just one comment. You know, there for a few years, we had a problem with the trees out there past the Elves Court, you know, Island View area. But I guess the St. Joe Company came in there and had somebody contracted out to cut them back. And now we don't have a problem there. And the other trees that's the other side of St. James Bay, those trees are on private property, so, you know, I don't know what to do about that. And remember, that's the area that the man and his son got killed with a tree falling down. But, you know, other than that, 98 to the east is pretty good.
Any other comments from the board members from Mr. Howard this morning? Thank you, Howard.
Thanks, sir.
Next on the agenda will be Mr. Fonda Davis, Solid Waste Director.
Good morning, Board.
Morning.
Have a few items on the report this morning. First item would be the 2019 Franklin County Dixie Softball Tournament. Just for your information, the Franklin County Parks and Recreation Department, in conjunction with Franklin County Dixie Youth League, has been awarded to host the 2019 Dixie Youth District 2 Softball Tournament. The tournament will be held in June at the Will S. Kendrick Complex. just for your information, there, Commissioner Sanders had mentioned about trying to get some tournaments back in the county. Next item would be Okalotney Bay Boat Ramp. Excuse me. During Hurricane Hermine, the Okalotney Bay Boat Ramp was damaged, is now completely repaired and back open for the public use. That's another item just for your information there.
Thank you, Fonda.
Yes, ma'am. The next item, basketball court at D.W. Wilson Sports Complex. Commissioner Lockley called me, wanted to get the ball rolling on the basketball court, and went out and asked a couple contractors for a quote. And I only heard back from one, which was Jason White. Jason White Construction had provided a quote for the construction of new basketball court at D.W. Wilson Sports Complex, and the amount of $13,850 is to be paid out the FERDAP grant. Need board approval to accept the estimate and get started.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Lockley, second by Commissioner Jones. Any further discussion?
Yeah, people have been asking me about it, and it's time to get started on it. We got enough for both of them now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, the
All right.
fence, actually, we started with the fence around the perimeter of the soccer field. The irrigation system, piping is in, so we're gonna get started on it also.
Well, what end the court gonna be on?
It's on the end, on Gibson Road side. It's back between the batting cage,
Okay.
south end.
Well, let's play some basketball.
We do have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Yep, got some for you.
Okay? All right.
You got more? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You got more?
yes, I do, yes. Next item is 2018 Summer League Basketball Team. Coach Nathan West with the Summer League Basketball Team is asking to receive financial assistance from the Park and Recreation Youth Sports budget to help with travel and lodging expense of the basketball players. Action requested is that the board approve to assist the Summer League Basketball Team at $2,500 financial assistance to be paid out of Park and Rec Youth Support budget.
That's what we've supported them in the past, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. We have actually got up to as high as 5,000 at one time.
2,500 is what you're recommending?
Yes.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Sanders, second by Commissioner Lockley. Further discussion? Finally,
Yeah.
this the one Mr. Speed was over?
Yes. Yeah.
He's no longer over, we got a new coach?
Right. That's
Okay,
correct.
okay, just making sure we ain't got two competing interests there.
No, yeah.
You had a comment, Mr. Lockley?
Yeah, they're gonna be playing here or at the school.
Matchbox.
The match.
Match ball, yes.
Yeah, it's completely separate from the school,
Okay.
Commissioner.
We do have a motion and a second on the floor?
Send that.
Okay.
Tell them to,
2,500? No.
We haven't made a motion and a second on that yet. Go ahead, Mr. Lockley.
I made a
When-
motion.
I thought so.
I made a motion.
yeah, and I second.
Mr.
Yep.
Lockley, second.
Tell them when they get a schedule made up to send us one.
Okay. Yes, sir. Will do.
Any other comments?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to go ahead and say, since I know, this team has already actually played in a tournament last weekend in Tallahassee, so they've been up and running since the regular basketball season started, but it is all over here at the Matchbox, completely separate from the school. Just for you guys' information.
Any further comments from Mr. Davis? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Last item here, new hire employee in animal control. The Franklin County Animal Control Department is pleased to announce the opening of the entry-level position in animal control, pending drug screening. DeAndre Williams is who we hired.
Okay.
And that's it.
Michael, you had something?
Item number 3 of my report, Commissioner. From the board, I received a status update on Lombardi's Park, known to DEP as Waterfront Park, from Mr. Jim Oskowitz, the FDEP project manager. Mr. Oskowitz stated that the drain field has been restored, meaning the bathrooms can be reopened. However, Access to the boat ramp and dock will not be allowed until the underground fuel storage tank is removed, which will take 3 weeks. After the fuel tank is removed, and there's limited access to the dock and the boat ramp, the contractor will be working on the roofing system improvements to the building that is to become the Heritage Museum. This project was originally scheduled to be completed sometime this month. However, unforeseen issues like the underground fuel storage tank and the damaged roof structure has changed the timeline significantly. I'll continue to provide the board with status updates. Those are two unforeseen things, Commissioners. We have no control over that. Who knew there'd be a fuel storage tank buried there?
I'm glad you brought that up, Michael, because I got calls on that when Lombardi would be opening, and the public's getting more and more anxious about getting it opened back up.
Yes.
So I'd like to see that get done. I know the original timeline was April, but as you stated, we've run into a few snags out there, but I think it'd be nice for the public when we do get it finished up, but we do need to get that boat ramp opened up as soon as we can, so I'm glad they're aware of that.
Yes, sir. FDP and the contractor, they're both aware that we need it open as soon as possible. So if they can get the tank removed sooner, it'll be opened up sooner.
Okay, thank you for that information. Anything else from Mr. Davis this morning from the board?
Got, Chairman, I just got one form for you to sign here. It's a grant, it's the reimbursement. It don't need board approval.
Board and fund, I did see that on your report. I ran it by Mark, and he's comfortable with that price, too. Should have said that for the basketball. Okay. I did, should have said that earlier.
Okay.
Any other comments from Mr. Davis? Thank you, Fonda.
Thank you.
Wait, one more. When they get it started on that coat, what did it take, 2-3 months?
Hopefully it won't take that long, man.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, it shouldn't take that long.
Shouldn't take that long?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I have one more comment, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Father, after we get that cord in, if we need lighting, please let us know so we'll know what to do.
Okay.
Because the one at East Point, at Rubin Park, has lighting,
Right.
just for the basketball court, so.
Right, right.
you know.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you all.
Next on the agenda will be Ms. Pam Burnell, Emergency Management Director.
Good morning, Commissioners. I have 2 action items on my board report today. The first one being, I need the board to approve and sign the modification to the Hurricane Loss Mitigation Program in the amount of $180,000. This amendment will increase this grant to the sum of $374,000 and will mitigate 16 homes.
So moved.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Lockley.
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Jones.
That's the one that just be in the county, right?
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
Second item on my board report is board approval, the ranking of the consultants for the Emergency Planning, Disaster Recovery, and Hazard Mitigation Grant Program Services. Will actually be the consultant that'll be writing our PWs at the next disaster. First one was CDR McGuire, second was Metric, third was Wheeler.
Them the one you pick or them the one who put in for it?
Yes, sir. Out of, I think we had 11 RFQs submitted.
Those are the top 3.
These are the top 3. And we're actually going to do a non-exclusive contract with them. That means that we can pick either one of those that we see fit, the county sees fit to do whatever job comes up. But their main job will be writing PWs.
Okay.
It may be as a hurricane is so large, it's hitting the whole state, that one of the top part is busy in some other counties, so we have the ability to use somebody else.
Yeah, okay. That's good.
It's the same thing you do your debris removal contracts you have. I believe it's 3 contractors.
Yep,
paying
you
for
always
it.
go 3 deep. That way you always got a backup.
Pleasure of the board.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Lockley, second by Commissioner Sanders. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Does the board have anything from Ms. Pam?
I just have to answer, it's on my report, but that's why Pam's here. So the alligator, and I'm gonna talk about it again, since Pam's here on this now. The Alligator Point project is still under review by FEMA, and this is an example of, we may get caught in the middle of something. So the Alligator Point project is $3.2 million. We've been waiting almost 2 years now to get the project approved. And it's an example of a project that was written by some previous consultants the state of Florida had under contract that are not under contract with the state of Florida anymore. And we are now, and I'm beginning to put two together, we are now having an additional review of the PW that we've already signed. We thought it was fixed. You know, they did environmental assessment. Took 12 months, and then all of a sudden now, after the environmental assessment, now we're reviewing the PW, like, we gotta review the numbers. And I'm like, wait a minute, this has all been, we should have been finalized before we started this project. So I'm a little concerned, I just say it to you all, to the people, that we are gotten ourselves into a loop because it was written under a different sort of criteria. I don't know what the outcome's gonna be, but now that what Pam was saying and what she and I talked, I'm thinking, I don't want to go backwards, ladies and gentlemen, but, I don't know, we might be going backwards.
Alan, I told you what they're gonna do. And just like they did in front of the KOA property.
At some point, they're gonna say, this is road's too expensive, Frank, can you find another alternative?
That's exactly what they're gonna do. And especially all the Triumph, the store, BP funds. I'm telling you, people think that this funding that's coming down to the counties are gonna pay for everything, and it can't. And a lot of people don't understand, it's not the local level, it's not the state level, it's the federal level. And, you know, you can't speed them up. 2 years we've been waiting for it.
Any other comments from the board from Ms. Pam this morning? Thank you, Pam. Keep up the good work. Next will be Mr. Eric Lovestrand, Extension Office Director.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Just have one item to bring to your attention this morning, and it relates to number 4 in Ms. Marone's report. We have looked at and scored the qualification packets that were submitted by 2 architectural firms related to the renovation for the extension facility.
More specifically, at your April 3rd meeting, the board opened request for qualifications for design, engineering, and construction administration for the UF-IFAS Extension Office renovation project at the Robert Howell Building located at the Mill Pond area. Project, I should say, is funded by a legislative appropriation. There were 2 firms that submitted packages. After the committee's review, Barnett, Franzak, Barlow, and Schuler architects were ranked number 1. Board action to authorize staff to start negotiations with the number 1 ranked firm.
So moved.
Second.
A motion on the floor by Commissioner Sanders, second by Commissioner Lockley. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have for you this morning.
Board members have anything for Mr. Eric this morning?
You think you got enough money to complete that?
I do.
As long as it don't take
Good.
you back,
We're-
Commissioner, we're fine.
We'll see what the architects come up with, but we're gonna keep it within the budget that we have.
The challenge would be, I hope the budget's right, the challenge would be to make sure that we don't have to, if we have to ask for another extension of time, because this money is now 2 years old.
Right.
So at some point, the legislature says, well, you didn't spend it, we're gonna take it back.
Well, we're fixing to spend it, right?
All right, yeah, we gotta get someone in a contract, that's the key, get that contract under contract. So the money's obligated.
Get it done.
Any other comments from the board this morning for Mr. Eric? Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Next would be Ms. Lisa Lance, Library Director.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I don't have any action items today, but I did want to draw your attention to a few things that I listed on my report. AARP tax aid ended last week. There was 82 tax returns filed, and we appreciated their service out of Wakulla coming down and spending several weeks with us. This week's events, we've got, today we actually have a gardening event at East Point, Pick a Pepper, and that is done by Les Harrison with the Wakulla Extension Office. This week, additional events on Friday at the East Point location also, our Basics of Better Living program, Extreme Recipe Makeover. This week also in Carabel, we have our free Friday night movie. The movie is Wonder. So we invite everyone out for that. we've had Ellen Ashdown was appointed as our new Franklin County Library Board representative to the Wilderness Coast Public Libraries Governing Board. We had our first meeting with her. She came up on last Monday, and I got to meet all of our wild board. The Friends of the Library have installed a new sign at the entrance to the East Point Library. It's a new reader board sign, so we hope to be able to promote more events and let the public know more as they're coming into the library what's maybe happening that particular day. I do want to request, summer reading program is just around the corner. June 14th will be our startup of that. And we're looking for award prizes to be given out for our reading challenge. So anyone in the community, any restaurants or anything that would like to donate certificates and things, I'm definitely willing to accept those. And if anybody would like to talk to me about that, they're welcome to track me down at one of the libraries. So we would appreciate that. And I thank Michael for assisting me in getting new wheels, dependable wheels.
Brand new secondhand, let's
Yeah.
say that. Item number 5, Commissioners, Ms. Lisa Lance, your library director, informed me that she was having some issues with a 2004 Chevy Cavalier that was transferred to the library from administration for her use. Sorry, Alan.
Worked good for me.
I
Back
contacted
in the day,
Sheriff.
back in the day, I'm sure it did.
I contacted Sheriff Smith to see if he had any surplus vehicles that his office was planning to auction. The sheriff gladly donated a 1998 Ford pickup to the library for Ms. Lance's use. She says this vehicle is better than the Cavalier.
Yep. Pieces don't jump off at me driving down the road, and I do have an AC that works, so that's,
His fault.
Alan warned everybody, didn't you, Alan?
I bequeath it back to him if he would like to have it. Thank you all.
Michael, let's make sure the sheriff knows that we appreciate his help with getting the library a vehicle. Any comments from the board from Ms. Lisa this morning?
Just thank you for the good work you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lisa.
Appreciate your all support.
There being no further comments, thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
Next will be Mr. Jason Puckett, Airport Manager.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Just want to give a quick update on some of the projects out at the airport. The airfield electrical systems upgrade, all the work is completed, and Avcon is coordinating a final closeout documentation. We do have a final change order for the regulator that was damaged. 100% of that cost is being provided by the FDOT, and I believe Alan has that change order for you to sign, please.
Well, you want to do all your?
I can,
Yeah, you do it, then we'll
okay,
come back.
all right. Second, the airfield drainage improvement, the contractor is finishing the last piece of that work on Taxiway A, and all the work should be completed by mid of May. We do have a final change order for the extra drainage work, and that was 100% covered by the FDOT as well. Third, we have a JPA for airfield marking to be for 1432, runway 1432 and 624 to be restriped, remarked, and mildew removed. So the FDOT, that's another 100% funded by the FDOT. And then BRPH, the Economic Development Plan, as you know, there was a presentation a couple weeks ago. BRPH is preparing a step-by-step implementation plan for the economic development, and that should be ready by the end of May. Centric Aviation is here, and they had a couple FBO stats for the month of March. They had 220 aircraft arrivals in March. 103 of those aircraft were overnight, and their crew cars made 138 trips into town. So that's quite a bit of revenue coming into the county. They have spent $4,250 to have Cates Electrical install a new 3-phase service for their ground power unit, and they are to have that ground power unit hopefully in by Memorial Day. We also had an incredible aviation day that was sponsored by the TDC, and we're so thankful that the TDC supported that and underwrote that. We had over 1,000 visitors to that event. We had 53 aircraft fly in, and it was an awesome, awesome event showcasing the fine asset that's your Franklin County Airport. And then lastly, I will be attending the Chapter 333 workshop on April 24th, I think with some of the county representatives. And then I'll also be here tomorrow for FDOT meeting and inspection. Oh, that reminds me, we had an annual FDOT inspection. There were some issues that were brought up, but they've already been mitigated, and we will receive our annual license hopefully here in the next couple weeks. So FDOT inspection went well.
All right, following up, then, let me do some items, and item number 6 in my report, because airport related. We have, let me just do the one, just to carry on what Jason just said about the meeting tomorrow. We're having a little bit of, and I'll say it's unusual, FDOT doesn't usually come down here out of the sequence. They came down to do this, to the inspection of the airport. You know, we had some issues we had to deal with, that's a standard inspection, but they're coming down tomorrow just to come down. So we're not really sure why they're coming down, but one of the issues, commissioners, and it's something that has probably been in the works for a while. The FDOT, as I said, the last meeting, has been very supportive of the airport. They recognize that our airport has a strategic position in, you know, national defense and national airspace issue because where we're located. So the FDOT and FAA have been very good about funding infrastructure improvements to the airport and helping us maintain it because they realize the airport was built 60 years ago, 70 years ago, and things are wearing out. But one of the things that they've already funded once, and I suspect they're going to talk about tomorrow, is the fence. The security fence is a requirement. Airports have to have security fencing, and they've already paid to have that fence put up once. And then because the airfield is so big and the vegetation grows so fast down here, we have not done, perhaps they're going to say this, we have not done an adequate job of maintaining the fencing. And in our 5-year plan for other improvements to the airport, we've asked for more money to repair the fence. And I suspect at some point they're going to say, no, look, Franklin County, we gave you the money and the fence was installed properly and you're responsible for doing maintenance. And I just see this is going to be an issue. I tell you this now, we'll find out tomorrow, but I think the maintenance of the fence is going to be an issue that they want us to address with personnel or some dedicated effort so that they aren't continuing to rebuild something that we should be maintaining. We'll find out, but I think that fence is going to be one of the issues.
It is. It's already been clearly delineated to me that it is an issue, and I'm trying to work on an advisory, how we're gonna mitigate that, short of trying to hire somebody full-time. I think if we can throw some assets to it, maybe once a week or once a month even, to try to help, you know, keep the fence row clean. My position with FDOT was if we could just get some help to clear it, just a 10 to 15 foot swath on either side, then our bush hog could go in there and keep it mowed down. But it's at a point now that we just don't have the manpower to clean a fence row that encompasses 1,100 acres. We can't do it.
But we'll see what they say, but
Yes,
they are
sir.
coming out as sort of an unusual inspection. Okay, but regarding the projects that Jason mentioned, so I have board actions, item number 6 in my report. Board action approve a change order number 1 for the airfield drainage improvements. And this change order uses remaining grant funds to replace additional drainage infrastructure under taxiway A. It's something that the FDOT supported and it's funded 100%. So I need board action to approve change order number 1, just moving money from one effort to another, all funded by FDOT.
So moved.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Lockley,
Second.
second by Commissioner Massey. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries.
B, board action to approve change order number 3 for the upgrade airfield lighting project. This change order uses remaining grant funds to replace the electrical regulator that Jason just mentioned that got damaged. Again, this change order is funded 100% by FDOT.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Sanders, second by Commissioner Lockley. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries.
And then the last thing is the new joint JPA, Joint Participation Agreement between the county and FDOT. We're retitling this, renaming it to allow us to do additional work. So the current JPA is titled Stormwater Drainage Improvements and Security Fence Clearing Rehab, Phase 1. And this, we're changing to adds language for pavement markings, electrical improvements, and obstruction removal. The purpose in revising this name is to add the following scope of work, which is to remark those 2 runways that Jason just mentioned about, relocate the threshold lights on runway 24 as identified deficiency in the last inspection we did, and to remove some tree obstructions on the airport.
Pleasure of the board.
So moved.
Have a
Second.
motion on the floor by Commissioner Lockley, second by Commissioner Jones. Any further discussion? Now, as we were just talking about the fence, and this is part of this JPA, what, are you gonna hire somebody to go out and try to do some work on this fence? or what?
If the DOT will fund it, that was our plan, to go in there and look at how we can get, to go in there and do an assessment to see what portions need to be repaired, what portions need to be replaced, and then can we clear it? And so that's what I was trying to get the DOT to fund, So I don't know exactly where we're gonna be until our meeting tomorrow to see if they're gonna fund that. That would be my plan, to get some help to get in here and get it cleared and cleaned, and then we can do a better job maintaining it.
So we're approving a resolution to try to get DOT to allow us to do this, is that correct?
Well,
Well, that was already in the first scope of work. What we're doing is expanding the scope of work in the event that they don't approve that we have.
That's exactly
we have
right.
other things to spend the money.
Okay.
What we're doing, in case they say no tomorrow, I'm gonna reallocate those funds to the marketing, is basically what we're gonna do.
Okay. Pleasure of the board.
You have a motion and a second.
We do have a motion and a second.
Motion by Commissioner Lockley, seconded by Commissioner Jones.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And that's all I have for today.
Any comments from the board to Mr. Jason this morning? One comment, did we get the water meter issue straightened out?
Yes, sir. I believe that was a faulty reading, is what I was told. They
Okay.
read the wrong meter.
Okay, so everything
I'm
there's
on,
squared away.
I'm on
Yes,
withhold my
everybody's happy.
comments.
Okay, that's fine. As long as the issue's settled.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other comments from Mr. Jason? Thank you for coming in this morning.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Next on the agenda will be public comment. Please raise your hand to be recognized. State your name for the record. Mr. Morone will keep the time. Come forward, state your name for the record.
Hey, good morning, Bert Bolt from Alligator Point. I just wanted to reemphasize the importance of the pending decisions coming up regarding our healthcare master plan potential here. As we see, looking at care issues related to WEAMS and so on, I have been recommending the consideration of an advisory individual to come over here from the West Coast and talk with the county about advisory services and looking at an overall master plan for healthcare here in Franklin County. And I wanted you to be aware that that potential to be presented to you and what that gentleman's advisory approach would be is coming up for you to consider. And I wanted you to consider that favorably. As you make decisions, I think it's important to have guidelines and protocol when offers are coming into this county with regard to the management of our healthcare systems. Also, I just wanted to emphasize too, relative to Chloe's Law and that barrier that's going on over there off of the bridge on 98 eastbound, and I guess westbound as well. I just want to emphasize, I agree, that seems to be a very potential safety issue there. There just isn't side yard setback, if you will, for a car to get off that side if that fence is going to be going on that strip there. Just to consider that, I wanted to emphasize it, and if there was any way that something could be mitigated or modified in some way, I just wanted to support that. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Sarah Hines. I'm the Assistant Director for the Florida Department of Health in Franklin and Gulf counties. And today we're here to celebrate Prevent Child Abuse Month, the Pinwheels for Prevention campaign. And the blue pinwheel is the national symbol for Prevent Child Abuse. And there are a lot of campaigns that we celebrate, but I gotta tell you, this is one of my favorites. The Pinwheels for Prevention campaign has been used a lot in our local media outlets, so from newspaper to billboards to radios. And they all share the same message, and that is to support great childhoods, because every child deserves to grow up feeling safe and loved. And in public health, we are committed to connecting families with resources to create safe and nurturing environments for their babies and children. And that's important in public health because we know that the first 5 years of a child's life help to shape the foundation of their development and their future health. So we want Franklin families to know that we're here for them, and we want all children to grow up happy and healthy. And here to speak on a program that we operate that promotes great childhoods are members of the Healthy Families team.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Healthy Families is a nationally accredited family support and coaching program that helps parents provide the safe, stable, and nurturing homes that children need for healthy growth and development. Our services are voluntary and are provided in the families' homes throughout Franklin County. Our services are customized to enhance parenting skills, reduce stress, provide education on home safety and childproofing, and increase children's literacy. How does this work? Well, within the Healthy Families framework, we employ highly trained home visitors who promote positive parent-child interactions, who support healthy child development, enhance family functioning, relationships, and problem-solving skills, and link families to health and support services in the community through referrals. This is one of our home visitors, Katie Howard, who would like to say a few words as well.
A few examples of the way that we do this is we teach positive parenting skills and age-appropriate discipline strategies. We help parents obtain their child's well baby checks and immunizations. We help parents learn healthy ways to deal with everyday stress, and we connect the families with available community resources.
And that's all we had. And again, this is Katie Howard, our family support worker, and this is Stephanie Cash. She's the Healthy Families Coordinator. So thank you.
Thank y'all for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
Sir?
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
My name's Sean Oxendine. I live in Carabel, Florida. I'm employed by Oxendine Construction. We work all over the county, but today I would like to talk to you as a citizen and a homeowner and a taxpayer. And thank God that we live in a country that I can come before you and spill my say, and thank you very much. I was blessed in the fact that I got one of the last permits. I'm involved in building a new house in Carabel in the city limits, and I got one of the last permits that was issued from the county to somebody in the city of Carabel. As I began to start my house or go through the process of starting my house, it was a great help for me to be able to come over here next door to the building department and sit down with Amy and the building officials and talk to them about what I needed to do. Since the way that things have changed in Carabel in our inspection department, I don't have that option anymore as a taxpayer like the normal, everybody else in the county that pays taxes just like me, they can still go over there. But as a citizen of Carabel, I don't have that option anymore. I try to call. I'm at the point now that I'd like to build a barn on my piece of property. People don't call me back. I have to call Panama City. I have to deal with Panama City. I went to the hearings in the city of Carabel with the Carabel City Commission when they were trying to figure out what they were going to do when we lost our building department. They were stuck with doing what they had to do. They had to do something. We had to have a building official, so there's only one game in town, and that's where we got placed at. I did the math on my house permit. 1 month after I pulled my permit here in the county, to pull the same permit for my house in Carabel was over 3 times the money. And we don't have no choice but to pay it. I didn't have to pay it, but everybody from that point on had to pay it. Well, if y'all let us go and took our building officials away and didn't give us that option anymore, if it was for a financial problem, I kind of done a little checking, and y'all are at the low end of what y'all charge for permits, anybody in the state of Florida. And before you just bail out on us, couldn't we maybe adjusted something or done something a little bit different to make it all work? And then I hear rumors, well, they did it because Appalach has to have. Well, maybe it's time we have one entity that takes care of the whole county. I mean, this county's growing. We might as well face up and put our big boy pants on and take care of what's ours. Those people in Panama City they're not going to take care of what Franklin County needs and wants. They're not looking after, all they're looking after is them dollars. They don't care. I can't, to start with, I can't talk to somebody and say, well, how can I do my barn? What can I do? I don't have that option anymore. I can't go sit down and Miss Amy help me for 3 or 4 days like she helped me before. I don't have that. And I still pay taxes just like everybody else pays taxes in this county. And why should I get penalized? Because I get to pay extra city taxes in Carabel. Why should I be penalized like that? That's kind of my question to y'all. There's rumors going around how hard these people are, and they can't inspect but one time a week, and how hard it is to get a permit. Well, I'm here, no, I'm not ratting nobody out, but there's gonna be a lot of people that's doing work over there in Carabel that's gonna be substandard work because they're not gonna get a permit no more because it's too aggravating. And I know that the man's coming and he's not, they're not looking to help you like our building officials will help you.
Sir, could you wrap it up? Your 3 minutes are up.
Yes, sir. They're not looking to help us like we were getting help before. It's all about the dollar. And all those dollars are leaving Franklin County. They're going to Bay County. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment. Any other public comment?
Good morning. My name is Donald Dempsey with Bill Gray Construction out of Carabel. I was building when we done this before and it didn't work. Seems like we're trying to slow down the building in Carabel. We need help to get the building back in Carabel. I know our local officials take a lot of pride in our homes that we build here, and I know that he would ensure the quality of our homes better than a private firm that doesn't have anyone here. If we're going to go with the city of Carabel, maybe they should hire someone that is local that we can go to in the office every day, because we have changes that go on weekly, and you got to have answers through architects and through the inspectors. And the homeowners want this job done because of the weather, the rain. They don't want it to get wet. They want a timely manner. And it would really help us, or our city, to prosper if we could go back to our county, because he does take a lot of pride in the homes that are being built in Franklin County as a whole. And it would benefit the builders and the homeowners which are spending money. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. We got one fellow here, and you'll be next. State your name for the record, please.
Thank you. I'm Brian Brightly. I'm pastor of St. George Island United Methodist Church, but also East Point United Methodist Church. And I'm here to give testimony to the support of a new church, the Forgotten Coast Community Church, near my church in East Point. I've been pastoring for 28 years throughout the state of Florida. I've been here for a couple of years. Love the folk and love the county. And I want to support this effort because this particular person and pastor has supported our ministries with respect particularly to the children in Franklin County, and East Point especially. We're starting a new youth and teen center, as well as a vacation Bible school, particularly when the schools, both in Appalachia and in East Point, close, and these impact children really have no place to go. So I am affirming my relationship with him for 2 years, and the more ecumenical activity we have in East Point and in all of Franklin County, the better off we are as we're working in prison ministries as well as with these children and teenagers. So I just support this extra help and know these people personally, and they're working with me now. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Sir.
My name's Don Lively. I'm a contractor in Franklin County. This building department we have over here is a very good building department. I don't understand how we lost it to start with for Carabel. I'm having problems with the building inspectors in Carabel. Can't get them to return my calls. I understand where these guys are coming from. This board needs to get with Carabel and see if we can't get this straightened back out and get it back into this county. This board can vote it back in with the help of Carabel. All they got to do is want it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, comment. Come forward, state your name for the record.
Brenda LaPaz, Mayor, City of Carabel, and this discussion was unexpected to me today, but I thought I just might speak to it briefly. The response time of our building inspector contracting company is very slow. Inspections are only once a week, late in the day, in the evening, I understand. The permit fees are extraordinarily high. That money is going out of the county. But in response to this gentleman's remark regarding hiring, in the past 4 months, we've had only 30 permits applied for in Carabel with only 2 new structures, and that really doesn't justify a full-time position for the city of Carabel or any subcontracting company. But I really don't have the commission's approval to be speaking here very much right now on this topic because it's all unexpected. I would like to take it up with our commission, city commission at the May meeting. But I will say that we do all fear a slowdown in our development and even making simple repairs and improvements because we're having a slow response time with our subcontractor. So possibly we could bring this up on the county commission agenda in June and have it as an agenda item and have a real discussion. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Someone in the back there, please come forward, state your name for the record.
My name's Chad Oxendine, contractor in Carabel as well. I've done one job in Carabel since this has been implemented. I have no desire to deal with what's going on. Therefore, I have tried to avoid working in Carabel. My dad lives in Carabel. We work together. We work all over the county. It is definitely different. Sometimes different's good, you know, but in this instance, I feel like that the difference that we're going through is at the cost and burden of the contractors of all kinds and of the community members in the city. I completely understand the fact of the taxes, and as a taxpayer, you are supposed to be given benefits, not get them taken away. I understand it, as Mr. Dempsey pointed out, about timely and professional manner of completion of work. And I also understand it from the point of view that I have been dealing with an inspection in the city of Carabel on a project for the city of Carabel, and noted the inspection was done on a Saturday. Now, if I have to put in my time during the week, much like these men do, and Lord knows as a construction worker, we typically don't work normal hours. We typically go longer when we can, and the rain runs us off when we can, you know. So the time schedule there, when Saturday comes, we're going to most likely go spend time with our families. And I don't feel that that's fair to the owner, whether it be a municipality or a private investor, for anybody to take somebody's free time away and have any expectation of inspecting on a Saturday. That to me is unprofessional, for one. And for two, there's no opportunity to be there with the inspector because who knows when they're going to show up. There's no, you're at their will and discrepancy of whatever they would like for you to do. I do not wish to speak down on the actual inspector himself or their self, whoever it may be, because they do have a job to do and fulfill. But as far as the way things are going and the efficiency of the program, I do not see it being very positive for the city of Carabel. That's all I
Thank you
have
for
to
your
say.
comment. Any further public comment?
Before we move on, since we've had the concerns of the contractors coming here, you know it's been an ongoing discussion for quite a few months now, and we were just trying to get a solution to the problem of trying to work with the Carabel. I would like to do a directive to Mr. Marone that the mayor just said that she's going to go back to her commission and have discussion on it. I would just like to have a directive done to Mr. Marone to direct him to work with the mayor and come back with something in June at one of the county commission meetings in June, preferably probably the second meeting, and go with that.
I second it.
You want me to do it a motion?
Yeah,
Okay.
motion.
I made a motion then.
I second it.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Sanders, second by Commissioner Massey. Discussion. The whole issue with a lot of this is that there's different rules within the city of Carabel, within the city of Apalachicola, that are not the rules of the county. Now, you're asking a building official that is not familiar with the rules in the city of Carabel and is not familiar with the rules in the city of Appalachia to come in and do everybody's inspection, when there's 3 different sets of rules. Now, if they were all had the same rules as the county has, you could eliminate a lot of this. But you don't. These municipalities have different rules than what the county has. And what happens if you get a building inspector in there inspecting this city and that city, and the rules are all different, which he's not aware of, you end up with a conflict, and the conflict falls back on the county because he's used to and abiding by the county rules within these municipalities, and the rules are different between the city of Carabel, city of Appalachia, and what the county rules are. They're totally separate. They have different governing rules, different density rules, all this other stuff. And everybody don't understand that. They think a building inspector is a building inspector. Well, it's not, because the two municipalities have different rules, and that's just the way it is. So it's not all about the county don't want to do our building inspection. No, there's different rules that apply in different areas of the county. Now, that makes it tough, because if our the county building inspector is the one issuing these permits, and these rules are different in both municipalities, it's not the same as what we do here in the county. And I hope everybody understands that. It's not all the same. There's different guidelines, different protocols and procedures you have to follow. And what happens if he does something in one of these municipalities that doesn't meet their rules and their standards? Well, our building inspector didn't do it, the county's building inspector done it. Then it puts the county to liability. That's the difference of the two municipalities, which are their own taxing authority, make up their own rules, their own planning and zoning boards. Everything is different. And I just want everybody to understand that. We do have a motion and a second on the floor.
I
All
got
those in
something I
favor?
want to say too. I was there with the contractors, been with them for the last 2 or 3 weeks. They've called for this man to come. He does not show up. He comes at 15 minutes till 5 and gonna get his paperwork. I asked him, I said, how are you gonna do it? He said, I'm gonna do it with a flashlight tonight. I said, how are you gonna inspect with a flashlight? I mean, and he don't answer the calls. He called him 5 or 6, 7 times. He never responded to him. Won't come. Well, he just won't show up to do any inspection, and it shuts them down. They completely shut down.
I understand, but there is different rules in all
Yeah.
these different areas. And I don't like being put in a position of being in liability, because the rules are different here, and they make their own rules. They are a municipality. It's
is-
not the same.
Who is the inspector? Who inspector?
Coming out of Panama City,
It's the same one, the city of Appalachia?
Yeah, same one. Someone wanted to provide the service in the area.
But we do have a motion and a second on the floor. We need to move on down our agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. Next on the agenda would be Mr. Gary Martin, Sheriff's Department.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you guys for having us. The reason I'm here today on behalf of Sheriff David A.J. Smith, also have Trial Court Administrator Grant Slayton. We are actually in the process, we've had around 8 meetings now, where we're gonna have an active shooter scenario exercise at our main courthouse. It's gonna be May the 11th, 2018. It's gonna start at noon and go to 3:30. The Chief Judge will close the courthouse via administrative order that afternoon. The clerk will accept filings in the annex over here Marcia has set up. Everyone involved in this exercise is the sheriff's office, of course, the clerk of court, the tax collector, property appraiser, the Apalachicola Police Department, emergency management, Apalachicola Fire Rescue, State Attorney's Office, Public Defender's Office, and the folks with the Second Judicial Circuit and others. What we want to do as a Sheriff's Office is invite the county commissioners to come be part of this exercise, as spectators, of course. You know, we're not going to put y'all right in the middle of it, but
We've been in the middle of it before.
we'd like you guys to be spectators. We put you in different office buildings where to be safe. We're gonna be firing blank rounds out of AK-47s, different equipment that makes everything realistic as we can make it. We want the folks in all the offices and surrounding to get a real life feel of gunfire, to be able to hear the sound and know what it sounds like when it is going off. We want to do this to improve the law enforcement first responder planning here at the courthouse, coordination and the response, teach the county officials and their staff how to protect themselves and their customers if something happens like this in the future. The risk will be mitigated through establishment of a secure exercise area, which we're gonna have armed deputies, around the courthouse, because we don't want someone to hear what they think is gunfire and come running across the street and try to get involved with our exercise. So we're gonna have it very secure. We're gonna have waiver liability agreement signed. We're gonna have medical, EMS on site, and restrict participants' actions, to a minimum. Keep everyone safe. This will be a test, and the participants will not be surprised or embarrassed. We're not trying to embarrass anyone. We want to improve our deputies' response to an active shooter if it happens here at the courthouse or at the annex. We're also going to start doing training very actively at the high schools, different places throughout the county. Anyone that we can, would allow us to use their buildings to do so and to train. Like I said, we've had 8 planning meetings so far. We've got a few left. We're going to do 4 different scenarios. After each scenario, we're going to do hot wash it, talk about everything. And when everything is done, we're going to come together to analyze and put on paper what we feel and the trial court administrator feels that needs to be done. We know you probably won't be able to do it the first year, but maybe through the years to secure the courthouse, to secure the offices, and make everything more safe with the times we're living in now for an active shooter, if that ever happens. Grant?
As Lieutenant Martina pointed out, I'm Grant Sladen, the court administrator. I'm here on behalf of the chief judge. I've brought with me my trial court marshal, Bill Wills, and it's been a pleasure working with different elected officials here and the staff of the various organizations dealing with this security exercise. Everyone's very professional, very hardworking, have a lot of good ideas. It's really Franklin County's exercise. We're just here to facilitate. I do have some handouts explaining the exercise, if I could approach the bench, give them to you. And I brought some extra copies we can leave in the back if anyone else is interested. But we're very excited about what the exercise has to offer. The key benefit really is the coordination and planning that goes into preparing the exercise, because what it does is make all the different organizations and groups that are first responders talk and work together about how they would respond to an event like this and develop policies and plans and procedures so they can more effectively respond to an incident like this if it ever did happen. And hopefully nothing like this ever happens in Apalachicola, but it has happened in nearby communities in the past, and it's happened in other communities throughout the nation recently. And so we just want to be prepared, and working with primarily the clerk of court originally and the sheriff Smith came up with the idea, and we offered to help and facilitate and work with them on it too. So again, we've been very pleased with the support and all the assistance we've gotten from everybody to make this a good exercise that ultimately result in a safer courthouse, not just for the people that work there, but for the customers, the community that use it. It's their courthouse.
Any comments from the board? I guess I don't have any comments this morning. Anyway, we do appreciate y'all coming in and appreciate you looking out for the public's health, safety, and welfare, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Board recess for 5 minutes.